everyone, welcome to my channel, Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. Well, 2022 is here, and I thought it'd be nice to start a new segment of videos, which I call Metro Mysteries. And this particular episode deals with all those mysterious water tanks that you see all around Brooklyn, all around Queens, all around the New York City area. Believe it or not, those water tanks are active. Some people think that they're relics from days gone by. Every single one of those water tanks is active. So stay tuned for a cool video. I hope you enjoy it. First episode, Metro Mysteries. Stay tuned. First off, there's over between 10 and 15,000 of these water tanks all around the metro area. And I was amazed to find out that these are functional water tanks. And quite frankly, I was shocked and awed. I thought they were relics from bygone days, but they're not. They're actually fully functioning. So I'm gonna put a thing up right here just to show you guys. So essentially, I mean, if you want engineering and whatever, you're on the wrong channel, but basically the way I understand it is that any building that's 6 stories, or basically water can only go up 6 stories. So any building that's higher than 6 stories in Brooklyn or New York City or factory, whatever, they need to have a water tower because the water just can't go up through normal means that way. So what it is you have a pump system, and it pumps the water up to the tower, and then the people, residents who are in that particular complex or condominium or building, the water comes back down. But I was amazed because I never realized these things were fully functional. And I'm gonna put this up right here now, and you're gonna be amazed at this because there's so many of these around Brooklyn. What's incredible too is that there was more construction done in Brooklyn and the surrounding area of New York City and Brooklyn between like 1900 and 1930 than anywhere else in the world. And there's quite a bit going on now too. So people just naturally assume that these wooden towers, these wooden water towers are just like, they're not really functioning. But the way it works is that there's only 3 companies in the area that actually make these towers. And Rosenbach, one of the oldest ones, they started as the grandfather, great-great-grandfather, it's up to the 5th generation now. They actually started as a barrel company. He had a barrel company, he bought that, and then he realized that, water needed to be given to the people in these condominiums or these high rises because New York was running out of space. So it went from a barrel company into making all of these water towers, which is why they're still made out of wood today, which is because it's much cheaper to make them out of wood than it is out of metal. The price comparison right here, these water towers made out of wood, they cost maybe like $30,000, $40,000, but the same water tower in metal would actually be about $120,000. And I think it would actually be better to do the metal, but you know what? Some of these water towers, most of them will last like 35 years. The only problem with some of these water towers is that if they break, the rule goes they only have to be inspected once a year. So you guys who live in these high rises or whatever, you have to really have a water filtration system in your condo, in your apartment building, because a lot of these water towers, if you check the water for them, most of them, it comes out because if it's obviously it's wood. So if there's a hole in it, the birds are going to be resting up there, or any kind of debris is going to go in there. So you're going to want to, for your own safety, have a water filtration system if you're in such a situation. But that being put aside, and you can have these things cleaned. I'll put a picture up over here. This is just showing you the inside of one of these water towers that shows you how big it really is. And you could fit like maybe 4 or 5 men in there. There's always a ladder in there when it's filled up with water. And the proper way to clean it is, of course, with chlorine. And they go in there with like these big brooms and they clean the sides of them. And but it's a really fascinating thing, and I'll tell you some more history about them. So these are the 3 companies right here that actually make water towers in New York City and Brooklyn and all that. And the biggest one, Rosenbach, is actually stationed in Queens. And I'll also put up their logo. They got a really cool logo, We Tank New York. I think it's pretty cool, pretty ingenious. So a lot of history to these towers. Also, what I'm going to do next is show you this. So what's really amazing too is, so these water towers, which are made of wood, the reason that they make them out of wood, and the reason why you might be wondering why they always look so old and decrepit and ancient, it's because the wood that they use on these water towers, they use that wood it's untreated wood. Because if they painted the wood or they put some kind of chemical or some kind of like deck type of stuff so it wouldn't turn color, it might interfere with the water supply inside. So, I mean, as far as the company goes, all these companies are making the water towers the correct way. When they go into disrepair, there's a problem with the water. It's always on the landlords because they're not the ones maintaining it. But when these water towers come out of the factory and they're built with very simple wood that's not treated. And if you see the Rosen ones actually have the R on the roof. That's how you tell those. But essentially, they're made very simply, but they do last a really long time. And because the wood it can't be treated, that's why they look really ancient. But this just fascinates me because I always assumed that I'm born in Brooklyn in 1965. I've never really seen a show on it before. And I just kind of take these things for granted, like they're just things from bygone eras. Like, in New York City, in New York and Brooklyn, we have a lot of historic landmarks, and things are just there. You just assume, hey, it's there, it's a landmark, it's whatever. Things like the Grand Prospect Wall, which we were trying to make a landmark, and so many other things that are out there. So it took me really by surprise, and I think probably most of you guys will be surprised to hear this. So anyway, what's really cool about this next is I want to show you, I don't know what the exact laws are on these water towers, but some of them are actually quite fancy. And I'm going to put up a couple of these. Hold on a second. What you're looking at now are water towers too that are functional water towers that are also very fancy. And apparently, I guess as long as they're functional, as long as they're inspected once a year, the city must be okay with it. But these are some of your more decorative water towers in and around Brooklyn and New York City area. And, like I was telling you, the best way to see all these water towers is just to drive around. I mean, it's kind of something that you'd never realize to drive, because, we're always so busy driving around and, we're running here, running there. You just kind of take it as part of the landscape, like a pigeon or a squirrel. But anyway, I just find this really interesting and fascinating because it's a real piece of New York history. And without water, where would we be, right? We all need water to survive. And like I said, because New York City had such an economic growth and such a population growth, the only way to go is to go higher. And, these water towers serve that purpose of helping people get their much needed water. Those of you guys who watch my channel, you know that we had a Hallmark store for 25 years in Brooklyn on 236 Prospect Park West. And collecting water towers is actually a really, really big thing. I never even realized this up until now. So I want to show you some of the collections of water towers that people have. Just a couple of pictures here showing you how much of a hobby this really is. It's quite fascinating. It really is. So talking about how popular water towers are, next time I go up to New York, hopefully it will be soon, or to Brooklyn especially, there's actually a bar called Water Tower Bar up there. And it's actually a bar made out of a water tower. It's up high, and it's like a little observation type deck. I'm going to show you the pictures of it right here. And it looks like a really, really nice place. I definitely want to go there. So if you guys are heading up to Brooklyn or New York City area, this is only maybe 10, 15 minutes. It's in Williamsburg out of Manhattan. You can take the train there as well. Looks like a really, really nice place, and definitely want to do a video over there sometime soon. Alrighty, folks, so I hope you enjoyed that video on water towers and episode 1 of Metro Mysteries. Please let me know what you thought about it. Give me a shout. If you liked the video, give me a like. I'd appreciate that. And please subscribe, folks. I'd really appreciate a subscription. That'd be really cool if you want to hit the bell. That every time I do a video, you'll be notified. And just coming out and doing these kind of things, it's a lot of fun. I love my beloved Brooklyn. We're living in Sarasota, but I love Brooklyn, and I just always want to promote it. Lived there most of my life, and as you can tell by the accent, and I always want to promote good things, and Brooklyn is a really good thing. And for you guys who've never been there or whatever, and for those who do live there, there's always new things to explore and discover. And like I said, I didn't know anything about these water towers. I just passed them by so many times, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the video and you get a kick out of it. And also, folks, if you guys know, we run a foundation. It's called the Waffles Foundation. We donate musical instruments to kids who can't afford to play. So if you have an instrument, or you need an instrument, or you want to contact us to do with that, just give us a shout at the Waffles Foundation, www.wafflesfoundation.org. We're a certified 501c3. We started that after losing my son, Matt. Matt, I miss you. I love you. Wish you were here to enjoy this beautiful sunset. But hopefully, again, one day we'll share it together soon. So I love you guys, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Al signing off from Metro Mysteries, episode 1. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.